A lot of people have been asking me about the banyan tree, which is located right next to Lahaina Harbor, and whether or not it's going to survive. I had the privilege of speaking to the guy who probably knows more about this than anyone else.
I'm Anthony Steele. I've lived in Lahaina 34 years, my whole entire life. I live 1 mile within the smokestack, which is the Pioneer Mill smokestack. I've lived 1 mile within that my whole entire life. There's nothing that ever, like, you can never describe any of that. But if you're talking about the banyan tree, that's where I worked since I was 19 years old. So it was at 14 or 15 years now coming up. I cleaned that tree. I have a video of me crying at the tree the day after the fire. I hang the lights on the tree every year, the first week of November, week after Thanksgiving weekend, we start hanging. There's a big ceremony every year that Saturday night, that week after Thanksgiving weekend. And we take them down the day after New Year's every year. I don't know if I'll be able to do that this year. I've been with the Lahaina Restoration for 14 or 15 years. My boss did it for 10 years before me. And every year we hang it together. So he's been doing it for 24 or 25 years.
Wow.
2009 it started. How many every years that is?
Yeah, yeah.
So 14 years I believe.
And what do you know right now about the banyan tree and like whether it's going to survive?
I believe it will survive because I took a knife and I fucking went into the tree and just looked and see if the inside was burnt and hollowed out and dried out. There's still moisture in the tree.
There is.
I believe that it's gonna grow. That tree is 150 years old. It was born in, I forget the exact date, but it's born 150 years. No, this was the 150th year. This year was the 150th year.
Yeah.
We had a big celebration because every year the tree has a birthday.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a highlight of the tree. So from what I understand, from what I was told, and I've been around, look at these. But it's 150 years old. It's a banyan tree. It's the third largest one of its kind it's the third largest one of its kind. The second one's in Florida. The first one's in India, where it originated. They bring it over when it's 8 feet tall. There's roots that come down from the tree that turn into big trunks.
Yeah.
That whole entire thing is one tree.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much the basics. If I didn't cut those trees, the roots, you wouldn't be able to walk in there. We cut them every 6 months. I haven't been on the tree since the day after the fire. It hurt me too much. Everything in our whole town is gone.
This is one of many interviews that I was able to get just after the fire happened and some more recently. Now, I also have interviews with residents who were actually in this neighborhood when the fire started, who saw it start to spread, some of whom just barely escaped. And I'm doing my best to get this to you guys as quickly as possible. As a lot of you know, I've had some complications. I've had to move locations because of a couple of different incidents. I've had to send my wife off the island. I don't feel like she was safe here. I don't feel safer either, to be honest, but I really feel that the whole story here, the true story here, needs to be told. And as I've said in previous videos, and I think a lot of things have already been revealed with my content that are not being captured and covered properly anywhere else, which is why I continue to do this. So be patient. There's much more to come. Thank you very much to everybody who has been following, sharing, liking, commenting. All of those things are helpful.